Hey everybody, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan. This is week update number 22, and this is going to be our New Year's edition. We've had a few incomings over the last few days. One's from a friend of mine that I share email banter with. His name's Dan Bentler. He's one of my viewers, and he's a really good guy, and we bounce back and forth on email. And I think I sent him some squares, and he sent me an email back and said, "Hey, do you like smoked salmon?" I said, "Yeah, but it's expensive and hard to get down here in Southern California." So he sent me a fish. Here, take a look at that. And back. And Dan, thank you. I wasn't going to drag my fish all the way out to the shop, but there's a shot of it there in my kitchen. And my wife has some plans for New Year's Eve hors d'oeuvres with the smoked salmon. So thank you for that. The other thing is at Christmas, I got pelted with Amazon gift cards. Never shopped at Amazon, never knew anything about Amazon, but they were stocking stuffers. All the kids got me Amazon gift cards. Boom, boom, boom. They're coming at me from all directions. So I had some money to blow. So I did, and the stuff came in fast. I couldn't believe it. I logged on to my wife's account, and after I got through all the froofy stuff that was recommended for her, all the fuzzies and warm things that she likes to look at, and flannel this and duck down that, I got to some of the stuff that interested me. And now she's in for a surprise. Next time she logs on, she'll be looking at Brown & Sharp, Starrett, Sandovic, and a few other things. Dorian Tool. She'll be looking at some other suggestions there for her, so she'll kind of wonder what's going on there. Let's take a look. Some of that stuff already came in. It was surprisingly fast. So let's take a look at some. Hey guys, I've been learning the virtues of Amazon. I got some Amazon gift cards for Christmas, and my wife let me log on to her Amazon account, and after I made it through all the Powder Puff stuff and all the recommended stuff of hers, I got to the meat of the sandwich, and I found a few things that caught my eye. Starrett actually has a very nice selection of stuff there. Now, I got two of these little pocket scribes. This is a number 70A pocket scribe, and all it says on it is the L.S. Starrett Company, Atoll, Massachusetts, USA. It doesn't say made in China, but I suspect this is a Chinese-made scribe. And these are nice little scribes. I mean, it's just it's not a carbide, it's just a hardened steel. There's a collet in there where everything can flip around, and that's just a nice size to poke your eye out with, and it stores. So I got a couple of those. Amazon's got these for $7. So great little scribe, and it feels good in your hand. Nice sharp knurls. It's pretty good quality, even if it is Chinese made, and I'm sure they're doing it to the Starrett standards, and they are holding them accountable over there. But yeah, nice scribe. Like it. Okay, so got a couple of those. Always misplacing those. Those are like tape measures and cigarette lighters. You know, you're always losing them. The other thing I got was I found Brown & Sharp also has a place over there on Amazon, and I got a thread wire gauge set, which I did not have. That was a cool little set, and all the reference tables and everything in here all refer to Machinery's Handbook, so we all know and love that. So I guess these instructions are pretty much useless. They've got instructions for American, conversion chart for metric, and then they got a separate card for Acme screws. But yeah, nice little set. Can't say where these are made. I don't know whether Brown & Sharp is farming stuff out to Asia or not, but and this doesn't say anywhere on it the origin of these, so not sure where the new Brown & Sharp stuff is made. But thread wires, was happy to get those. So those were Christmas presents, kind of to myself. I mean, the kids got me Amazon cards, so they all, you know, quite a few things caught my eye. Niagara, you can buy Niagara on there, so I got some slitting saws, which are kind of a consumable around here. I get either the 30 tooth or the 36 tooth, because both are nice even numbers when you resharpen them. 30 tooth is 12 degrees apart, and 36 tooth is obviously 10 degrees apart. So these are real easy to throw in the Spindex and resharpen. So that's why I get those teeth count, tooth count, toothus count. Last up, it was kind of funny. I saw some 1, 2, 3 blocks there. And everyone always says, "Oh, you can't have too many 1, 2, 3 blocks." And they were $7. I already knew, Asian made. And here, obviously, they couldn't afford glue for the box because the box was just like falling apart. I guess glue on the 1, 2, 3 blocks would break the bank and just really cut into their profit margin too much. So, anyways, $7, $6.95 for a pair of 1, 2, 3 blocks, case hard. I'm thinking, how bad could they be? So, there's my no glue box, and let's open them up and see what they look like. And they're in a very thin plastic bag, and then they're wrapped in a kind of a rice paper looking stuff here. You know, I figured, to hell with it, let me have them. I'll clean them up. Maybe I'll regrind them. You know, because the thing about blocks is, I don't care if they're measure 1, 2, and 3. All I care about is that they're parallel and equal to each other. So first impressions are a nice grind. It's a pretty nice grind on there. Got a little bit of pickling on them. Absolutely no odor, but there's some kind of pickling. Feels a little waxy. I'll let you look at that surface finish. It's not terrible for a Chinese block, but let's go. Let's dive in a little deeper. Maybe we'll go measure these here in a little while, and you know, compare them to some gauge blocks and see how they stack up. These have threaded holes, by the way, too. There's a 5 bolt pattern. These two, the center one, and these two have 3/8, 16 threaded holes. So that's fun. So maybe they're worth it, maybe they're not. You know, what would be cool is if you really did want 1, 2, 3 blocks, if they'd start making intentionally oversized ones, or when we get them here, we can fix them. But this is good grinding practice for me. God, this paper is just nothing. Okay. Well, there's some yak hair in there or something. Goat hair, who knows? All right, well, maybe we'll go take those over on the surface plate and check them out with the best I can with my measuring station. We'll go take a look at those and see if they're any good. Last up, this wasn't from my Amazon purchases, but James Green actually sent me something. I was talking to him on Facebook, and I told him that my taps had been liberated from me last year, and he said, "Okay, well, he said, how are you fixed for tap handles?" I said, "Well, I need a pretty good size one for you know, some of my larger taps, you know, after I get resupplied on my larger taps." And as you guys saw in the previous video, he sent me quite a few large taps. Well, he sent me a tap handle, and it's a big mama. And this one is marked, says number 8 USA, and I believe that's it looks like a Greenfield logo. Can't really tell down at the bottom, but it sure has the looks of it. And I mean, the knurls are still nice and sharp. And it doesn't even feel like this thing's been used hardly at all. It's just really clean. And even the sides here are just really sharp. It hasn't been rolled over, used as a hammer or anything else. But what a nice tap handle. And James, thank you very much for that. And no creative wrapping on this one. This was just wrapped just enough to protect it on the way over. So it was perfect. And back. And thrown into the mix was another package that came from James Green. I said I was looking for a large tap handle. I didn't say the word behemoth, but that's what I ended up with. But James, thank you for that. That's a very nice tap handle, and that'll work well with those large caps that you sent when the occasion arises. I use them probably 2 or 3 times a year. But James, thank you for that. Next up, let's go measure those 1, 2, 3 blocks. I mean, $7. How good could they possibly be? Let's go stick them on the surface plate, clean them, and see what they look like.
Okay, so this is going to be a narration and a voiceover on this entire thing. I stuck the GoPro in the solid case, and no sound gets through. So here I am. I'm going to give them a wipe down. I've already wiped them down with a paper towel, and I'm giving them a wipe down with a lint free and getting all the grunge off of it, all the packing dust and stuff that from the manufacturer. Next up is the paper trick, and if you don't know the paper trick, just wipe your blocks or whatever you want to clean off on a piece of paper, and you can actually see the dirt and stuff come off on the paper, and just press firmly and wipe, and you'll get quite a bit of stuff off of your blocks with that. And that's a good way to clean your gauge blocks too. If you're gonna whenever I put gauge blocks away, I give them a little bit of oil. So before each use, you want to wipe them down with paper and get all the stuff off of them. And there again, you can see all the stuff that's coming off of the blocks. But that's a good, safe way to clean your gauge blocks without rubbing them around anything abrasive. And we're just going to give it a quick check. That's a 1 to 2 mic, so we'll be able to check the number 1 block, or the 1-inch block. I think I'm going to bring the mic up so you can see it. There it is. Right there at 1 inch, we got a real nice feel. Just a slight drag on that block. And I'll zip the mic out to 2 inch and check that 2-inch block. That block's within a 1/2 tenth, also known as 5 mil. And we'll bring our indicator down and get it zeroed up on the 1-inch block. And we're just going to do this comparatively. I'm going to give it about a 1 thou preload. Yep, there's your 1,000 preload right there. Less chances of error doing it that way. That way you're not winding the heck out of the indicator. So not too bad. Within a tenth. And it's actually showing about a tenth over on all these, and it's very cold in the shop right now, so that they'd probably measure, if they came up on temp 70 some degrees, so they'd probably be a 2/10 over. They're definitely going to grow when they warm up, but it was about 45 degrees in the shop there. And we're just going to pass off over to the gauge block and double check our standard. So we're happy there. Okay, so we're going to come up on our 2-inch now. We're a little 2-inch block. I'll wipe down and drop it under there, and we're going to do the same thing. Just preload the indicator about 1,000th. And just making sure we snap back each time. And just give it a pass. And we're going to pass it off from the gauge block straight over to the 1, 2, 3. And there we are again, within a tenth. So not terrible on the 2-inch side either. So pretty happy with the 2-inch. Let's move on to the 3. We've already mic'd that off camera. I used a standard barrel mic, so that can't be read with the camera, so I didn't bother showing you guys. But it was checked. Again, a 1,000th preload. And there we're happy with the sweep, no movement. Now Mr. Lipton has got a pair of 1, 2, 3 blocks that are like gauge blocks. They're just perfect and polished and just the most beautiful things you've ever seen. But I don't think we're going to get those for $7. Here we're just going to do a straight pass off from gauge block straight over to 1, 2, 3 block. So dimensionally, not too bad. Did not check them for squareness. but I'll get around to that. Time and material, there's no way I can make those things of equal quality for $7. I don't even think I could buy the material for $7. I'd probably want to build those out of maybe 4130, drill them and harden them and grind them, and there's no way. And I'm not even getting any rock out of these things. So yeah, we're pretty happy with these.
So for $7, pretty impressive. It's got a nicer finish than I can do, and I don't know why. I've been playing with wheels. So far, my go-to wheel is a 60 grit, either a J or a K hardness. I can't tell the difference between J or K. That's an aluminum oxide wheel, but I cannot tell the difference between a J and a K. I have experienced the softer wheels and how bad they burn, and the harder wheels and how bad they mark stuff up. So I'm pretty happy with the J and K hardness in the 60 grit range. All right, next up, we did our annual visit to Robinson Helicopter, and this happens every year, just like clockwork. In between Christmas and New Year, we got to go in and do service on their booth. That's belts, bearings, and miscellaneous mechanical work on some of their stuff, just to get them by for another year. I originally installed the 2 old Banks spray boots in there in 1988, and those things are still going, and they've been heavily modified over the years. They've hooked them up to an RTO, which is a refractory thermal oxidizer, out in back of the plant for emission control, and they've been heavily modified over the years, but we still go in and take care of their mechanicals. Let's sneak over and take a look at Robinson Helicopter. Here's a quick look through Robinson Helicopter. Some old Lycomings over there. Morning.
Good morning.
There's a section you guys might be interested in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mills. That's fun. Looks like I got a CNC machine over there. Plenty of little partitions. That's their top secret area. But as Mr. Lipton would say, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. And I'm sure the burning question in everyone's mind is, what does a helicopter paint booth look like? Well, first of all, it's got really wide doors because it takes 2 guys to get a helicopter in there, one on each side, and they have to actually dolly it into the spray booth. So that is each one of those door leafs is 4 feet. So that's 4, 8, total of 16-foot wide doorway. And this is just a large biparting door. And that big old Mama Luca just folds in half and out of the way. And this is what a helicopter spray booth looks like. This is actually their clear coat booth. So it's very well lit. And the doors are open. Back here there's an attached drying room. That's their drying room, low temp. They only warm the ship up to about 120 or 130 degrees, so it's pretty low temp. And that's where they spray. See my camera adjusted to that. It's needs sunglasses to walk in there. Alrighty, these are actually really small, really scary looking craft. And if you look at some of the materials involved in building these things, this is a 4-seater. Can you imagine they pack 4 people into this little thing? And if you look at some of the sheet metal, good Lord, it's just so thin. But what caught my eye, this is kind of funny. This is on a control surface. See how the metal's all layered up there? They didn't want to build the whole thing stronger. You know, we only had a little crack right here. So let's make this little piece, it only weighs 4 ounces to go in there. You know, we don't want to strengthen the whole thing. Let's give it where it needs it, right there, just that little bit. Same thing over there. They've laminated and riveted a bunch of stuff on. So what did Chuck Yeager say about Piper Cubs? He said, Piper Cubs go just fast enough to barely be able to kill you. So small, light, scary, flying beer can. Yup. And we're back. And that was our friends at Robinson Helicopter. That was our annual visit. And you got to see up close the construction of some of those flying beer cans. They're pretty light. We've seen 2 employees just walk up to a ship, pick it up and walk away with it. No motor, but the entire craft. They can just pick it up and walk away with it. So pretty darn light. I want to wish everyone else out there watching a happy New Year. I want you to have a safe New Year. Don't drink and drive. I don't condone that. But go party somewhere? Absolutely, I condone that. But drinking and driving is never a good idea. So have a safe New Year. And if you are going to party somewhere, just stay there. You know, if you're going to a friend's house, take a sleeping bag. Say, hey, man, I'm going to party my butt off tonight. I'm crashing at your place. Give him no choice in the matter. All right? Have a good New Year, you guys. And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Boy, that sucked. Party? Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. Just stay home and party. Or go to a friend's house and just crash there. Sleep on his couch, whatever. Sleep with his wife. I just noted this on my board. See, this is the kind of friends I get in the shop. Merry Christmas, a-hole. Thanks for all the help. So that's awesome. And thanks for that, Frank.